We have with us Mr. Vishwadeep Mane, who is a PhD student at Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. I welcome you, sir. And I now call upon, I request the conveners of the Botanical Society, Dr. Jairam Reddy sir and Praveen sir, to escort our guests over to the dais.
I welcome Vishwadeep Mane from Indian Institute of Science to this Botanical Society guest talk. Please put your hands together and welcome Professor Reddy. I welcome my dear colleagues of the Department of Botany and also my dear students to this gathering here, a guest talk by an Indian Institute of Science research scholar on this day. A warm welcome once again to each and every one of you. Today we have Vishwadeep Deepak Mane as a co-alumnus, because I also work in Indian Institute of Science for doing my research. I worked in Professor C.S. Vaidyanathan's lab of biochemistry lab in Indian Institute of Science back in 1990. He has cleverly chosen the title of the topic as making your own leaves and branches. If you sow a seed in the soil, the seed knows how to produce the roots, how to produce the leaves, how to produce the branches. You need not have to teach, because it is an auto-proof. We human beings, we don't know. If we are thrown in the soil, we'll lie there only. We can't do anything. We need a lot of guidance, a lot of help. And you're all my students are like seeds. And you have to grow like big trees, like a banyan tree. You have to grow your own roots. You have to grow your own branches. You have to produce your own leaves, and you should become a big tree. And we have with us Vishwadeep Deepak Mane with us, who will guide us all in how to build our career, how to prepare for the competitive examinations. That is the main focus of his talk. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Arjun, and all the office bearers of the Botanical Society. And I will not waste any more time, and I invite Vishwadeep Mane to deliver his talk.
The main question is you're majoring in botany as a subject. So now you'll feel that, oh, I know a lot about plants, but I don't know how should I work on microorganisms per se or on animal models. But that is where you have to break the stereotype. So what happens usually in science is that people tend to switch or cling on to a particular model organism, and they grow their career into that direction. That's, of course, it's very fine because you know about it. But there comes a time in your career that you have to choose between the comfort zone and out of the box. And if you choose out of the box, you will become a versatile person and you are able to go into different fields. So I am now a microbiologist by training, working on plants, that to the biomechanical aspect of plants. So I have added something called as physics into the mainstream of what I am researching upon, mechanics, and also the entire difference of and whole different organism, that is plant, which is a eukaryote organism, basically, which I studied was a prokaryote organism. So that is why I say that I have actually found my leaves and branches. That's why I am delivering a talk over how are you finding your own leaves and branches, right from something else. And the second anecdotal evidence was, so when I joined IISc, so we had 3 lab rotations that you have to spend some time in 3 labs, and then you have to choose which person you are comfortable with, the supervisor, and then you can join into that lab particularly, understand the lab culture, the questions and whatnot. So I met my professor over there. His name is Professor Utpal Nath. So he is a plant biologist. Of course, he is also a person who worked on proteins. He was a biochemist, then turned into plant biologist, then geneticist. So he said me one thing that I told him that I'm a bit skeptical about joining PhD in your lab because my training has always been in microbiology. I don't know anything about plants. then he told me that, oh, that's not a big deal, because deep down the line it's all DNA that you're working on. Doesn't matter what the organism is or what its appearance is. We have to just find some leftover branches and leaves in the lab and start working on it. That is why I have named this title as Find Your Own Leaf and Branches. And I think that I do have found some kind of branches to cling on to and to work on. So, everyone must be aware that, so you have joined into a very fundamental stream of science, that is botany, or maybe zoology, or microbiology, or whatever. Most of the people, they think that, what is the scope after doing a master's in botany or zoology or any kind of fundamental science. But I would say that it's very biased, what we have been taught trivially or traditionally is that you have either a scope in academia or in industry. Industry is of course limited for people who are who are doing their masters in botany or something like that. For microbiology, as it is an applied subject, you have a lot of scope for it. But at the same time, academia is a field where you will find yourself aligning towards a lot. And most of the people tend to go to academia because they are much more interested in understanding the research perspective of all these things and trying to understand what they can substantially contribute to that field. So I think this is the time when there is a decision between a lot of people who are here sitting in this auditorium, that what is the scope of the career and where should I go, whether it's academia or industry or somewhere else. So the online mode is really easy, but still it gives you a leverage to come back and revisit and answer the questions which you are not confident about. And answer from the end sections, it saves time. What I have realized is that if you start the examination from the back end, that is from the part C, because it is the most extensive part, so it saves your time, because once you are done with those 25 questions which are big enough, you can go on to the section B and then section A, because these are all MCQs. These are some kind of tricks that I have seen people have been using, and you have to answer it very pinpointedly. The best thing about this examination is that, if every question has got, every section has got, say, suppose in part A there are 20 questions, you have to answer only 15. And trust me, you need to answer only 15 or less than that. Why? Because there is negative marking. If you are going to answer something stupid, that is going to essentially, minus your marks from the existent marks that you have gained. So you should know very well that where you want to stop. Don't go beyond your, oh, I know so much, I can get so many marks. No, you won't get any marks, you will get less marks only. So you should know where to stop. Like, I remember for this examination, in the part C, you have to answer 25 MCQs out of 75 questions. If you'll answer 20, that is fine. You'll get still marks, but you'll answer 30, and if out of them 10 are wrong, whatever the marks you have got for those 25 questions, you'll get 10 marks for just that. So just do smart work, don't do donkey work. Part C, essentially, I don't know people do like ecology or evolution or not, but the part C is majorly comprised of ecology and evolution. So there are questions like ecological successions, which they ask about. So even if you don't like, just go have a look about ecology and evolutions, the section, whatever you are taught in your syllabus with respect to that. And that actually helps you in gaining a lot of marks over there at the end. And people do not generally have interest in ecology, but this is some way to gain marks in this examination. Your concept of design should be very much clear. So for example, everyone must be knowing about Krebs cycle and TCA cycle. Okay, these are very trivial knowledges that everyone must possess. So you should really know what are the enzymes involved in each step of this particular process. That actually helps you a lot, because these type of questions are generally asked. For example, what does the single, if you break a single bond in the ATP molecule, what kind of energy you will get? Minus 7.3 kilocalories. This is a trivial knowledge, you should know about it. And now if I ask you what about all the 3 bonds, if I am dissolving them, what kind of energy I will get? You will get much more energy. It's just not minus 7.3. It is much more than that, because the bonding, as the proximity to the bonding increases, you require much more energy to dissociate with them. So you will have much more energy with respect to that. So again, I need to say that you should know about biology, you should know about biochemistry, you should know about thermodynamics, which essentially means that you should have an understanding of the concept, that certain things are there as it is. 7.3 is not going to change to minus 11.3. It is going to remain that unless you make a discount. And it's life science. It's not just botany. So you have to have a thorough knowledge of other subjects as well in order to practice examination. It's just not about botany. Remember that. Even mathematics, this examination, you have completed your MSc, you get a call letter for interview from institutes like IITs, IISc. You will go there and you will have 2 sets of interviews. At least in IISc, for the biological sciences department, biological sciences division, you are having 2 sets of interviews in each department. So you can apply for 3 departments. If you are selected, you will be called for interview. And in these 2 sets of interviews, in the first set, usually it is a rapid fire question wherein you will sit in front of 2 people and in 20 minutes they will ask you as many questions as possible. And then you have to answer them correctly. And if you are answering them incorrectly, they will know that you are answering them incorrectly. In the first set, usually what happens is, and you might think that, oh, they might ask about who is a Nobel laureate in this year and that year. No, they won't ask like these questions. It's all rubbish. So they will ask you questions on the basis of experimental evidences. So I remember I was asked a question. If anyone can answer, please tell me this. So just imagine you are having a vial wherein you are having 2 bacteria, okay, 2 different strains of bacteria. One is sensitive to an antibiotic and one is resistant to an antibiotic. Now I am having a single vial. I want pure colonies of both these bacteria from the single vial. How would I do it? You have to answer that. Can anyone answer this? Yeah. Antibiotic and?
That you have the one which is resistant to the antibiotic and the other one you have.
But I will get both the bacteria, right? So for doing something in America, you require 2 things which are very much important. One is your language, that you need to give a test with respect to English, and secondly GRE. So most of the universities in the US, they require GRE, that is called as a graduate record examination. So you require to give this, otherwise you cannot get. There are certain universities which have waived off GRE very recently, since 2020 I guess. So that's a good opportunity for you to join in North America as well. But